Hey guys, OJ here, bringing you guys our GDL semifinals match against Monotui and his Baltimore Orbeetles. I know this isn't the normal format in which we do our GDL videos. Unfortunately, after we played, I went back and I watched my footage, and for some reason, my video was lagging like crazy. I was getting a cool 2 frames per every 5 seconds. Like, it was completely unwatchable. So there's no way I can really post that, and unfortunately, Mono didn't record his side. Being that it is an upload recommended league, not required, so he's not recording it. So I unfortunately just couldn't even use his footage or anything like that either. So we're kind of stuck with kind of taking the approach of I really want to explain my team, and then I can give a brief overview of what happened in the game and give you guys the results after that. So I apologize. Hopefully it won't happen again. I've recorded a whole game since then, and everything's gone pretty smooth. So I'm hoping it was just a one-time thing. But we'll see what we can do going forward and make sure that doesn't happen again next time. Because it was a good game, and I am really bummed that we don't get to upload it in all its glory and all that stuff. So yeah, let's jump into a little bit of an analysis. I'll try and do a bit of a more in-depth team builder, even though it's not a crazy team compared to last time. But let's jump into it. So, if you remember, we played Mono back in week 1 of this season. We played him back in week 1. We actually swept him with a Kingler. A little bit of unfortunate hacks ended up happening in that game. Remember, he missed a hydro pump, which really put me in a good position offensively and let me put in a lot of pressure. But if you know something about me, you'll know that I hate free matches. I am awful in rematches, man. It's really tough for me. So being able to switch up a team and kind of bring something that's all able to catch my opponent off guard from the first time we played, while also being optimal in the matchup, is something I definitely struggle with as a builder. But I think we did a pretty good job of changing things up this time, being able to really put on a lot of pressure. So you can see the matchup on the top of your screen right there. Our team consists of Gengar, Cinderace, Rotom-Mow, Avalugg, Kingler, Togekiss, Galarian Stunfisk, Haxorus, Scrafty, and Araquanid, while Mono's team consists of Dracovish, Pelipper, Weezing, Rhyperior, Espeon, Boltund, Dusclops, Ferrothorn, Centiskorch, and Dynamax Butterfree. I'm sorry. This is really early when I'm doing this. I don't want to actually reconnect and show a bunch of my teams. So, right off the bat, biggest threats to my team. Dracovish is a big issue. It's a big issue. It was last time. He brought Scarf versus me, and I thought that my defensive Avalugg could take it on, but in the raid, it still got 2 KO. If he brings Banded, we just lose a Pokemon every time it comes in on the right position, which is really scary because we do have a few Pokemon that it can come in on after, on an aggressive double and outspeed it with a band and legit just claim a kill, which is really scary. Pelipper, offensive Pelipper is really good versus me. We saw last time I definitely underprepared for it. It was a Scarf Pelipper, and it went nuts versus me. So I think we need to be a little bit more prepared for that thing. Have good ways of outspeeding, have good ways of taking it on. Because last time we got really lucky and it missed a hydro pump in the rain, and that really did end us kind of saving us a little bit there. So I want to make sure that we can take that thing on well enough and all that good stuff. Rhyperior was very annoying for us to break. It was a very Spadef Rhyperior for our Gengar, so I expect that to potentially come again. Boltund was a bit annoying. Not really when we have Stunfisk, but the only issue is that it puts a lot of pressure on our Stunfisk, which is here for the biggest threat overall to me, in my opinion, which is going to be that Butterfree, man. That Butterfree is scary, and I never thought I still don't think I should ever have to say that in Draft League. It just shows how dumb this Dynamax thing is. Butterfree just is terrifying versus me. Tinted Lens and Quiver Dance and up, it can be a big issue. Especially if it lands a Sleep Powder and gets a couple extra boosts on me. Things are looking really tough for me, man. Things are looking really tough. So we're going to have to be careful around how we play around that. Our best check to that is definitely the Stunfisk, but Stunfisk is pretty mediocre versus everything else. A lot comes in on it for free and things like that. So we're going to have to be careful. I do think we have the team to take on Mono, though. Like I said, despite my strong suit not being lying in rematches, I think we switched up the team enough and kind of built upon what we had last time, what worked, and then kind of fixed what didn't and all that good stuff. So let's jump into the first one really quick. First off, we have our Gengar. This is the exact same as last time. About 4 of these sets are actually pretty much the exact same as last time. Gengar, though, we're rocking out with Specs Gengar with Stabs, Focus Blast, Destiny Bond. this thing claims to kill most of the time versus his team. He doesn't have a ghost resist at all, so Specs Gengar is pretty free in that sense, honestly. So I really like Specs Gengar just to click Shadow Ball, poke a hole, and be able to do that for us. So I think this mod's really, really solid. It outspeeds a good majority of his team as well. It just doesn't outspeed Bolton, and it ties the Espeon. Everything else we will outspeed. We will be able to throw off a big hit. Minus like a Scarf Developer, minus a Scarf Dracovish. Pretty solid mod in this matchup, though. I actually really, really like Gengar. It forces my opponent into prepping a certain way, and it forces a lot of switches here, so that's obviously super dope. Next up, we have our Kingler rocking out the Rendo Berry, Sheer Force ability, Agility, Liquidation, Brick Break, Swords Dance, 84 HP, 196 attack, and 228 speed with an Adamant Nature. Now, this thing is going to be the win con once again. It was the win con last time, and it ended up winning and picking up like 5 kills or something like that. Kingler is dumb good versus Mono's team. We literally just need Chip on the, the Ferrothorn. And I said it last time, and I'll say it again this time. He wasn't actually Choppleberry last time, but I really, really, really expect Choppleberry Ferrothorn. So we're going to have to force that to pop before we can try and boom with our Kingler. But Double Dance is really solid here. If we can catch him while switch into Kingler as we get an Agility, and then we Swords Dance on the Power Whip or whatever, he breaks our window, and then we pretty much just win the game from there. So that's obviously super, super clean for us. I think Kingler's amazing this game. We outspeed everything at +2. And we can put in everything minus like a Scarf Bolton. I don't think Scarf Bolton we can outspeed, but we have webs for that, which we'll get into here in a minute, which we actually didn't have last time, so that's obviously super, super clean. But yeah, that's going to be Kingler. Really, really good win con this week. Next, we have Galarian Stunfisk rocking out the Lumberry Mimicry ability, Stealth Rock, Rock Tomb, Earthquake, and Sucker Punch. 244 HP, 28 attack, 20 defense, 148 speed def, and 68 speed with a careful nature. This is going to be our aforementioned Butterfree check. Butterfree goes crazy versus us, but with this thing, we should be able to hold it at bay, at least to where I can't get it to +2 speed. That's my main goal, is to never let Butterfree get to +2 speed. Once it gets up to +2, I think I kind of just lose the game when it Dynamaxes. So the Lumberry is to prevent some like Compound Ice Sleep Powder shenanigans. That can be really, really annoying if it just sleeps me and just gets max sleep turns and gets to +3. There's not much I can do. Stealth Rock is obviously get up Stealth Rocks because they're good in this game, especially for like a non-boots Butterfree. If he's like Sash, Rock Tomb, 2-hit said Butterfree. We always 2-hit KO Dynamax Butterfree with a Rock Tomb. We always we OHKO most Butterfrees from full if he's not Dynamax, which is obviously super dope. And this is the only change we really had to the set from the first time. Last time we had Stone Edge to like OHKO him in Dynamax form and stuff like that, but shoutouts to John for making me realize if I miss or if I get a bunch of sleep turns, I want the speed control from Rock Tomb, and helps me with the rest of his team as well, just on the switches, and it's a lot more accurate, and I can't really afford missing. That's for sure. We have Earthquake just for general stab to hit things like Rhyperior and other things like that. Not the strongest thing. Again, we don't really do much to anything besides Boltund and Espeon with this thing. It's a good Espeon check, which we actually lack on this team otherwise, but other than that, we don't do too much to anything with anything like that. We have Sucker Punch for priority as well. If it's a Sash Butterfree, if we need to get off a priority hit against Dracovish because it's super low, or a priority hit against Espeon, etc., etc. So we're going to have to be very, very careful with our Stunfisk and how we preserve it, which makes getting up rocks a little bit iffier, but you should be okay in the long run, honestly. I really do like Stunfisk in this matchup just because it's the only thing that stops us from raw losing to Dynamax Butterfree. Next up, we have our Haxorus walking out the Lumberry Mold Breaker ability, Dragon Dance, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, and Close Combat. 108 HP, 212 attack, 4 defense, 4 speed def, and 180 speed with an Adamant Nature. Same exact set we brought last time. Another great secondary win con. It's a great breaker. Haxorus' job here is to get up a Dragon Dance, force in the Ferrothorn, Close Combat, and break its Choppleberry. I really need to break that thing Choppleberry for Kingler to, be in a position to win later in the game. And Haxorus is the best one to do that, honestly. That's why we're rocking out with that instead of Unnerve. Mold Breaker also lets me break through the Solid Rock with Rhyperior, which I thought was much more important. And again, I really want to break through that Ferrothorn Choppleberry in case it's like Super Fizz definitely lives a +1 close combat anyways, which we actually saw last time that it does. So I really do like the Mold Breaker option in that sense. It also lets me hit the Wheezing with Earthquake, which I think is a little bit more important as well. I didn't want to risk the Iron Tail miss and stuff like that. So it was a bit of a toss-up going between the Unnerve and the Mold Breaker, but I think Mold Breaker is better for this matchup. I think this Pokemon's an important breaker. Forced a lot of switches. We can get up a DD and a lot on his team, just because of Haxorus' decent natural bulk and the amount of HP investment we have, and we'll be in a pretty good spot from there. Now we're getting into the changes on the team. Things we're bringing opposed to things we didn't bring last time. Like I said, we're not bringing Avalug. What was the 6th one we brought last time too? We brought Cinderace. So we're not bringing Cinderace and we're not bringing Avalug. We're bringing different forms of control. Dracovish switching and speed control and stuff like that. First up is going to be our Araquanid. We're rocking out with Cobra Berry, Water Absorb ability, Liquidation, Leech Life, Sticky Web, and Mirror Coat. This is going to be our Dracovish check. We take on pretty much most Dracovishes really, really well, especially Choice Select Dracovishes, because if it locks into Rock Blast or Rock Slide or anything like that, we can always pivot out pretty easily and go from there, honestly. And I do think a Choice Dracovish is definitely the move in this matchup. Leech Life always breaks a Dracovish sub unless he's super, super bulky. If he's super, super bulky, I'm not super worried about it, honestly. If he doesn't, if he doesn't have the correct investment, or if he's super slow, if he's like max HP, max attack, he's not gonna have much that he's outspeeding on my build. So that makes the Fishious Run not as scary, honestly. But that's obviously super, super clean for us. Sticky Webs are really nice in this matchup just to stop potential Scarfers like the Espeon, like the Dracovish, like the Boltund from outspeeding my threats. It's really nice for the Dracovish and the Boltund in particular, honestly. Espeon also helps with for sure. And we have Mirror Coat plus Koba because, like I said, I am super weak to that Scarf Pelipper, and I could definitely see this thing baiting it in. And we take like a good 35 to 45% from a Hurricane from that thing. So I'll definitely take that trade in damage to get off the Mirror Coat and knock that thing out and get rid of the rain permanently. So I really like Araquanid in this matchup. It's really cool. I really like that we bring Water Absorb opposed to Water Bubble. So we're not doing the most damage, the same amount of damage we normally typically would. But regardless, we're looking pretty okay with this set this week. And then lastly, we have our Rotom Mow, rocking out with the Choice Scarf, Levitate ability, Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Leaf Storm, and Trick, 148 HP, 196 attack, and 172 speed with a timid nature. This is going to be our speed control. This is the main reason I say I cannot let Butterfree get to +2. As long as I keep it at +1, we can always revenge it with a Rotom, because it's not going to be able to like roost off damage from Rock Tombs and stuff like that from Stunfisk. So it would always be chipped. If it's Sash, it'll be broken down. If it Dynamaxes up and max Airstreams, we'll be able to keep it down, somewhat neutral and stuff like that as well, which is obviously really, really nice because Thunderbolt and Volt Switch still do so much to Butterfree. It's insane. The thing is ridiculously frail, even at +1. So as long as we can get the chip off and keep it at +1, Rotom is kind of our contingency plan for a Quiver Dancing Butterfree that might break through my Stunfisk trying to take it on and all that stuff. So that's obviously super clean. Our dual subs are actually really good in this matchup, being that we're playing against Rain. It gives us a Scarfer faster than Pelipper, which is obviously super, super clean. And it has a free Volt Switch in all honesty. Rhyperior's not going to want to come in and take a Leaf Storm. That's a really big... he can't make that play if he knows I'm Scarf, but especially early game, he doesn't know I'm Scarf. He doesn't want to come in and take a Leaf Storm, like, whatsoever. His main switch is going to be Ferrothorn. And if I can get rid of the Butterfree or, like, the Pelipper or something like that, and then get up Webs, and I don't need my Scarf anymore, catching that thing with a Trick is so amazing for my team. Locking it into a move, having it be Choice Scarf is obviously super clutch for us. So I really think Rotom's pretty important in this matchup, and making sure we don't lose to the Butterfree and the Scarf Pelipper and stuff like that. So that's the team that we brought. I can kind of give a quick overview on how the battle went. Very, very offensive game on my end. I believe I led Rotom, and he led off with, I want to say it was the... he led off with the Butterfree, just off rip. And I immediately Volt Switch, got out of there. And he was brought down to Sash, and I believe he threw up a Quiver Dance, if I want to say correctly. Yeah, he threw up a Quiver Dance, which obviously super, super clutch for us. No. He did not lead off with the Butterfree. I am totally tripping. He led off with something, man. I just don't remember. I know I led off my Rotom. I got a Volt Switch off. We kind of played through the game. I remember he got into his Butterfree. We got into our Stunfisk, and he tried to Sleep Powder us so that we could he could try and set up on us and stuff like that. But our Lumberry ended up popping. We were able to Rock Tomb the Butterfree, bring it down to its Sash, bring it down to -1. And then from there, he actually hit another Sleep Powder, and I hard switched out. I remember I hard switched out because of the idea that if this thing gets up like 3 Quiver Dances, I lose the game, and I know I can let anyone hit with my Butterfree minus a max Airstream, and I did not think he would click it on that turn. He was definitely trying to set up, so I went hard out into Butterfree, I went hard out into my Rotom, got him there on the quiver turn or something like that, and I was able to volt switch out the subsequent turn, which is obviously super clutch for us. We were able to take out the Butterfree, which is a big threat to us early on. Super clean. I remember we took out the Pelipper with a Cobra Berry, with our Cobra Berry and the Mirror Coat, so that lure ended up working. We got our Dragon Dance Hackers, and we got it to +1, and we were able to pop the Ferrothorn's Chople Berry. So everything was really going according to plan in this game. I know we claimed to kill with Gengar in this game. I know, so yeah, that's 3 kills, and then I believe we got in on the Ferrothorn late game while I was chilling at about 40%-ish, and I got an in on my Kingler. I went hard into Kingler after a Volt Switch out from Rotom. And I remember I clicked hard agility on it because, again, I know that I can take any one hit from this thing, obviously, because of our Rindo Berry, which is obviously super clutch. And I should be able to knock out the next turn with the max fighting. So what I do is I agility up, I take the Power Whip. We have webs up as well, so the Scarf Bolt Hunt in the back, which we know is Scarf at this point in the game as well, because I tried to trick it. I tried to trick a Ferrothorn on the switch in. That wall outspeed, literally everything was Rhyperior, Boltund, and Ferrothorn left. We were able to agility up, live the first Pyro Whip, then go for a max fighting, but he was like max Phys-F, and he actually ended up living on like 2 HP the first one, but because of the Dynamax bulk that we got, we were actually able to live the second Power Whip on a really low amount and throw off another max fighting, get it to +2/+2, and then win the game with Kingler once again. So we actually ended up picking up a 5-0 win. I'm sorry that's not like the most analyzed, like, you know, this happened in the game. Just I don't remember it exactly. It was a good 4 or 5 days ago from when I'm recording this or something like that. And I just remember we won with Kingler. I don't remember exactly the plays. It was such a good game too, man. I'm really bummed. But regardless, we ended up picking up a 5-0 win in semis here, which is another reason I'm kind of bummed, you know, getting a semis game and getting a big win like that and then not being able to upload it because your computer sucks. It's really unfortunate, but I can't complain too much because we're actually going to be in finals, which is awesome. Didn't think we would make it here with this team. Honestly, I did not think it at all. But we should be playing finals sometime next week against either our good buddy Jason Diet Tight or 6 Foot Hacks Leo. So regardless, we'll have a really good game. We'll be getting to play against someone we didn't play against in the regular season, which is obviously super dope. And hopefully we can take home the championship. I would love to add this one to the belt and have a Wi-Fi championship on the channel and stuff like that. Actually, just have a Wi-Fi chip in general. The only Wi-Fi chip I have, I guess, is PGP, which was the team tour that NCP did. But I don't have like a solo Wi-Fi championship yet, so I would love to grab this one. Either this one or APA Little Cup, something like that, which we're obviously fighting the playoffs for right now as well. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, I really do apologize for the fact that my footage just sucked this week. Hopefully we can bounce back next week and get the finals game out for you guys. I'll do my absolute best to make sure that happens. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you're hyped for the finals, be sure to drop a like, you know, comment, all that good stuff. Sub if you're new and all the good stuff as well. But I will catch you guys in the next one. Later.